I'm Megan Cusack, and welcome to another episode of Vehicle Care Rockstars. Sometimes you need to leave your situation in order to realize it's the right one for you. Nick Fox, district manager for Gills Point S Tire and Auto Service, serving Montana, Idaho, and Utah, was born into the automotive industry, and for a while, he didn't think it was where he wanted his future to be. But tire people in particular are some of the most helpful folk out there, and ultimately, they are what drew Nick back in, inspiring him to also lead a life of service to others. All right, so can you tell us about how, you got started in the industry and what your family's history is in the tire industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I got started in the industry by being born into the industry. My dad initially was at a Husky truck stop working on, over-the-road stuff and all that. And he got recruited to go into the aftermarket independent auto repair and tire shop. And so I spent the majority of my life there. We still have a master mechanic that is there that started 2 months before I was born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I was literally born into the industry. I would go there in the morning making coffee for the customers in the showroom, and then had my first official job when I was 12 years old. And for a long time, told myself that I was never going to be in the automotive industry. But after I tried a few other things throughout college and high school, I decided that the automotive industry was much better than I had realized and that I wanted to be part of it.
Yeah, that sounds like a normal refrain for kids rebelling, pre-college and then post-college, like, you know what, maybe that wasn't so bad after all.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, okay, so tell me, what are the pros and cons of working in a family business?
The pros and cons. The pros are you get to work with your best friends, and that is wonderful. The cons are that it doesn't matter if you're at work or at a family gathering or family dinner or whatever, you still talk about work all the time.
Very true, very true. Okay, so what does a typical workday look like for you right now?
Right now, a typical workday for me looks like I wake up and my phone starts ringing about 7 o'clock in the morning through text messages, phone calls, emails, because I support a bunch of service center managers. And so I help guide them, mentor them, and help them problem solve. And so I just provide support to them, unless I'm traveling that week and I'm in a particular location. Those weeks are much different because I typically will arrive a Sunday night or a Monday morning, get to the location as soon as I can, and then help them with whatever they need.
Okay, so how many locations are you managing, and what's your geographical radius there?
I oversee locations in Montana, Idaho, and Utah, and there is 18 locations that I work with.
Okay, can you tell me about the progression of your growth in throughout your time at your family's store and even here with Gills Point S? Just where did you start and what did you learn along the way with each new position?
Well, I started as low as you could start. I wasn't even allowed to touch cars when I first started. I had to start in landscaping and cleaning, and through work ethic and proving that I was wanting to learn more, then I was allowed to work on tires and then oil changes, and I had some really good mentors along the way. And then I was able to become an apprentice technician, and then I went to college to play soccer.
I'm sensing a departure here. So.
Yep, and I was like, I'm gonna go do this. But then I kept coming back to the shop. That's what I knew, where I liked to be, and I like to talk to people. I like to take care of people. So it was a natural transition for me to move to the sales counter to become a service advisor. And after so long, I showed the commitment and that I was willing to be there when I needed to be there. And I had the opportunity to become the store manager. And that was awesome. I loved that. I loved helping people accomplish, whether they're our employee or a customer, help them figure out and solve their issues. And after I did that for so many years, then I had the opportunity to become a partner, and it was something that was very important to my dad, that I had some skin in the game, so I had to come up with some money and bought into the business, and we had a plan to transition the business over time, and we grew it together, and it was really amazing. So, and then in April, we went through the process of selling the business and merging part of it, and here we are. Now I get to help a lot of other great store managers and work with a lot of very, very talented people in our organization.
What have you found in working with all these other different store managers? I imagine part of your job, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, involves like standardizing some processes, or were those already in place when you came in?
There were processes in place. However, there are certain things that are easy to forget about when you're in the store level, right? When you're in a location day to day, it's easy to forget about that. It's important to make sure you take time to perform one-on-ones with your team. It's easy to forget that maybe you should have a team meeting on a regular basis. Talk about safety issues, because most of our shops are very busy, and you get wrapped up in just trying to get all the tasks at hand done for the day. So something I enjoy helping my managers with is making sure that they schedule those, and we take time, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes, to sit down uninterrupted and discuss what's happening, so we can come up with a strategic plan to move forward in a positive progress.
I like that. You started in, your dad's shop there. Can you tell us about this journey from, being an independent, family-owned shop to joining a chain?
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. Being in a family independent shop, you were responsible for every aspect of the business, from marketing to HR to operations, sales even, hiring, firing, everything you can think of, negotiating insurance policies, just everything you can think of. When we joined a larger organization, now I just focus on operations, so actually quite a bit, or a lot less stress, right? Because I can focus on things and I have adequate time to focus on them. And so yeah, the downfall though is now I'm part of a larger organization that I have to get approval for certain things, where I was used to just making all decisions and moving on to the next task, which has been a learning curve for sure. I don't think it's a bad thing, it's just been a learning curve.
Yeah. Okay, well, so speaking of some of those learning curves, what was the most challenging part of making this transition? I mean, it's a pretty recent transition for you guys, right?
Correct, April.
Okay, yeah, very recent. So, yeah, what was the biggest challenge to overcome during that time?
Not stepping on other people's toes in their positions, because I was used to, if I didn't know how to do something, figuring it out and just making it happen. Where now we have, an entire marketing team, accounting team, HR team. They don't want you fixing things in the point of sale, and I was used to doing all that. And sometimes people will call and be like, "Hey, did you change this?" "Yeah, I did." "Okay, well, we need to talk about that because it affects, 100 other stores." So it makes sense.
Okay, yeah. Now, what advice would you give to other, tire dealers who are considering selling their businesses?
Make sure that your chart of accounts is clean, so when people are asking for your financials to make you an offer, that you can get the most value out of selling your business as possible. I would also recommend, if you own the real estate, that you try and retain that and set up a lease agreement, so you have some reoccurring income outside of what you're doing, if you're going to stay on with the company or just sell outright. And just make sure that you tell the story to your longtime customers as well, that you vetted the person whoever's buying your organization, and it's going to be okay. They're going to provide good service.
Yeah. So now, can you tell us personally why, what was behind your family's decision to sell?
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was my partner, and we've been partners for 8 years. And we were in different phases of our lives. My dad wanted to retire, and I wanted to grow the business. Both of those take a lot of cash. So ultimately, this was an opportunity that arose because we've known Eric Gill and Shane Vorderstrass for many, many years, who are part of our Point S network. And it allowed me to still help grow an organization, be a partner in that organization, and allowed my dad to retire. And so it was the best of both worlds.
Okay, excellent. So what does the future of Gill Point S Tire look like to you?
Well, Gills Point S is going to continue to grow. They've got, like I said, they've got so many wonderful people in their organization. We've got a lot of momentum right now. We've doubled the size of our organization this year, and I would say in the next couple of years, we're probably going to have 250 locations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. And so, for those who may not know, what parts of the country are you in? Are you planning to spread to other areas, or?
Absolutely, yeah. So initially, we were pretty limited to the Northwest, maybe a little bit Midwest, because Montana can be considered both of them. But we're on the East Coast, right? In the Northeast right now. We're in the Midwest in Michigan. And now we are in the South with one of our most recent acquisitions of Peerless Tire. So we're all the way down in Texas now. So we are expanding everywhere. So we're looking for good organizations that want to join someone and continue momentum. But at the end of the day, we need good people. And so that's what makes a good organization, is good people that are part of it.
Yep, absolutely. So, and what does your professional legacy look like?
My professional legacy? Well, I just hope that if, when people look back on my career, that they say, wow, he was really good at helping people become better, improving 1% every day. So that's what I hope.
Transitioning from working in a small family-owned business to being part of a nationwide chain can be rough, but many former small business owners and their employees find themselves in this situation every day. Nick Fox has learned a lot in the last year about what it takes to grow a business, and he has some thoughts on that. Stay tuned to the next episode to find out more. All right, Nick, we're going to play a little game called B-Sides to get to know you better. I'm
Wonderful.
going to give you a series of choices, and you tell us which ones you prefer. Are you ready?
I'm very ready. Let's do this.
Okay, let's start with some general questions. Movie night at home or family camping trip?
Family camping trip.
Okay. Skiing or lake surfing?
Can I choose both? They're different seasons.
Okay, well, I can give you that. All right. Hunt with a rifle or a bow and arrow?
Rifle.
Okay. Dodge Viper or Chevy Camaro?
I'm gonna have to go with Dodge Viper because I have one, but Chevy Camaro is my all-time favorite. So very difficult question, but Dodge Viper.
Okay. Chelsea FC or Seattle Seahawks?
Chelsea FC.
Okay. Volunteer at a soup kitchen or Habitat for Humanity?
Habitat for Humanity.
Nice. All right. Now this is Vehicle Care Rockstars, so let's move on to your musical tastes. Rock or pop?
Rock.
Okay. Country or reggae?
Country.
Okay. Imagine Dragons or Maroon 5?
Maroon 5.
Michael Jackson or MC Hammer?
Michael Jackson.
All right. Garth Brooks or Taylor Swift?
Garth Brooks.
Okay. First concert you attended?
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Last concert you attended?
Maroon 5.
Best concert you attended?
Best concert. That was a tough one. Probably Macklemore and Imagine Dragons. Or Garth Brooks. So.
Okay, excellent. Well, Nick, you're a rock star. Thank you so much.
Thank you.